The queen stands alone amidst the stark winter forest, her regal figure a silhouette against the falling snow. Her eyes, filled with longing, reflect the cold beauty of the winter day. Her voice echoes through the silent forest, a wish whispered on the wind. I wish for a child with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony. The snow continues to fall, as if the forest itself listens to the queen's heartfelt desire. In the royal bedchamber, the queen lies in bed, a fragile smile gracing her lips as she cradles her newborn daughter, Snow White. Her eyes, though filled with love, betray an unsettling sadness, a haunting premonition of what is to come. The queen's smile fades, her grip loosens ever so slightly. The queen succumbs to an enchanted sleep, her world fading into shadows. The light dims, casting long shadows across the room as the queen drifts deeper into her enchanted slumber. A year has passed. The halls of the royal castle echo with renewed life as the king remarries. His new queen enters, her beauty undeniable, yet a chilling vanity casts a shadow over her features. The queen clutches a magic mirror, its surface alive with secrets, a silent confidant to her hidden desires. Daily, she consults the magic mirror, her gaze probing, seeking reassurance in its mystical reflections. The magic mirror shimmers, reflecting not only her image, but the depth of her icy ambition. In the opulent queen's chamber, the queen, draped in regal attire, commands attention before the magic mirror. The mirror shimmers with an otherworldly light as the queen's desperation begins to show. Her voice, laced with a hint of icy command, echoes. Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? The magic mirror responds, its voice a chilling echo. You, my queen, are fair. It's true. A pause, thick with dread, hangs in the air as the mirror continues, sealing the queen's fate. But Snow White grows more fair than you, the mirror declares, shattering the queen's composure. Within the opulent queen's chamber, Snow White's youthful radiance fills the space. Years of envy have etched deep lines onto the queen's face, a stark contrast to Snow White's youth. Before the magic mirror, the queen's voice trembles as she hears the magic mirror's words. Snow White is now 1,000 times fairer. The queen's rage boils over. The queen's fury intensifies. At the forest's edge, the queen points with icy resolve, a silent command hanging in the air. Unaware, Snow White wanders deeper, gathering wildflowers with a blissful, carefree smile. The huntsman follows behind, his face a mask of inner turmoil, eyes betraying a battle within. The queen watches them disappear into the green, a cruel satisfaction slowly spreading across her face. In the heart of the deep forest, dappled sunlight dances on the blade of the huntsman's dagger. Tears stream down Snow White's face as she begs, "Please, spare me, I'll do anything." The huntsman's resolve wavers, his grip on the dagger loosening at Snow White's desperate plea. He urges her to flee into the forest's dark depths. "Go. Run and hide," he commands, his voice filled with urgency. "Never let anyone find you," he warns, his eyes reflecting the gravity of his words. Snow White bursts into the dark woods, each breath a ragged gasp against the encroaching shadows. Terror contorts her face as she casts a frantic glance behind, the forest floor blurring beneath her feet. The gnarled trees become monstrous figures, their skeletal branches reaching out to trap her in their grasp. Tears stream down her face, each sob a testament to her mounting despair as she plunges deeper into the woods. Her small frame trembles with each stride, her vulnerability stark against the ancient, unyielding forest. She disappears into the dense undergrowth, the forest swallowing her whole as the unseen threat closes in. In the fading light, Snow White's weary figure emerges into a small clearing. A modest cottage appears like a mirage, igniting a spark of hope within her. Hope flickers within her as she cautiously approaches the small cottage. She pauses, her hand outstretched towards the door, a silent question hanging in the air. The dwarf's cottage is impeccably tidy, each item perfectly in its place. 7 small beds stand in a row, a testament to the home's inhabitants. Driven by hunger and exhaustion, Snow White tastes food from each of the 7 settings. Weary, she collapses onto the 7th bed, her body succumbing to deep slumber. In the quiet of the tiny cottage, Snow White finds a moment of peace in a profound, dreamless sleep. In the heart of the mountain gem mine, 7 dwarfs are hard at work. Grumpy, Doc, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey raise their picks high in the air. The rhythmic beat of their picks fills the air as the dwarfs work in harmony. Doc is bending forward, swinging the pick downward, impacting the ground. Happy is bending forward, swinging the pick downward, impacting the ground. Sleepy is bending forward, swinging the pick downward, impacting the ground. The dwarfs trudge wearily into their cottage, their faces bearing the marks of a long day's toil. A sudden hush falls as they halt, their eyes widening in disbelief at the sight before them. Snow White rests peacefully in their bed, her presence filling the room with an otherworldly radiance. The dwarfs huddle around her, their calloused hands hovering in a silent ballet of wonder and curiosity. Morning light bathes the dwarf's cottage as Snow White awakens in one of the small beds. She sits up, her gaze sweeping across the 7 dwarfs. Snow White recounts her story, her voice soft with vulnerability as the dwarfs listen with sympathy. The dwarfs say, "You may stay here, child. If you cook and clean for us, you shall have a home." The dwarfs warn, but heed our warning. Open not the door to anyone. In the opulent queen's chamber, anticipation hangs heavy as the queen stands before her magic mirror, her face a canvas of conflicting emotions. The mirror swirls with otherworldly light, revealing a vision of Snow White, radiant and alive, laughing joyously with the dwarfs in their woodland sanctuary. A chilling wave of rage engulfs the queen, distorting her once regal features into a grotesque mask of pure, unbridled fury. The queen's countenance transforms, a terrifying display of wrath that promises dark vengeance. Beneath the forest canopy, dappled sunlight guides the queen, disguised as an old peddler, along a winding path. Each step brings her closer to the dwarf's cottage, smoke rising from its chimney, promising warmth. A basket laden with trinkets and ribbons hangs from her arm, swaying with sinister innocence. She approaches the cottage, her disguise concealing her wicked intentions. The cottage stands silent, unaware of the deception about to darken its doorstep. In the dwarf's cottage, Snow White's eyes reflect longing as she beholds a beautiful silk ribbon. Her fingers gently trace the ribbon's smooth texture, her desire growing. Temptation overcomes her as she opens the door to the disguised queen, posing as an old peddler. With a thin smile, the queen expertly ties the ribbon tightly around Snow White's waist, a sinister act veiled in charm. Snow White gasps as the constricting ribbon steals her breath, her face paling in realization. Her vision blurs, and she collapses to the floor, succumbing to the darkness. In the dense forest, the queen disappears among the trees, sure of her victory. Her escape is marked by a chilling cackle that reverberates through the woods. The cackle echoes, revealing the depth of her wicked glee. The chilling sound tears through the stillness of the forest. Her wicked glee is a dark promise in the heart of the forest. The dwarfs explode into their cozy cottage, their faces tight with worry. They swarm around Snow White, finding her still and lifeless. With trembling hands, they slice through the ribbon that binds her. As the ribbon falls away, a wave of relief washes over the dwarfs. Snow White stirs, her eyelids flutter open, and she gasps for breath. Beneath the forest canopy, the queen, disguised as an old woman, moves with a labored shuffle, her true malevolence concealed beneath tattered garments. In her grasp, an ornate comb glints, its enchantment a harbinger of dark intentions as she nears Snow White's quaint cottage. With deceptive sweetness, she coaxes Snow White to accept the comb, a gesture laden with fatal deceit. The comb's magic takes hold instantly. Snow White falls into a deep, death-like sleep, her innocence betrayed. The dwarfs, their faces lined with concern, return to their humble cottage as twilight descends. Anxious and swift, they gather around Snow White, a silent promise of protection in their hurried movements. With gentle hands, they carefully remove the poisoned comb, a symbol of malice, from Snow White's hair. Snow White's eyes flutter open, a delicate awakening from a treacherous slumber. The dwarfs exchange glances, their concern deepening with each shared moment of her fragile recovery. In the heart of the forest, bathed in dappled sunlight, the queen disguises herself as a humble farmer's wife, her true form veiled by subtle enchantments. With delicate precision, she crafts an apple, its skin a stark contrast of crimson and white, a deceptive allure radiating from its enchanted core. The apple gleams, its vibrant colors a siren's call to innocence. With a calculated gesture, the queen extends the apple towards Snow White, an offering veiled in false goodwill. To allay suspicion, the queen bites into the harmless white side of the apple, sweet juice glistening on her lips, a performance of innocence. Inside the dwarf's cottage, Snow White, trusting the farmer's wife implicitly, raises the apple to her lips. She bites into the crimson side of the apple, her eyes widening slightly. As the poison takes hold, Snow White's expression shifts to one of shock and pain. Her strength fails, and she collapses to the floor in a death-like sleep. Snow White lies motionless on the floor, the remnants of the poisoned apple beside her. The weary dwarfs trudge into their cottage, their faces mirroring the exhaustion of a long day's labor. Horror grips them as they discover Snow White, still and lifeless, a stark contrast to the warmth of their home. Their small hands flutter helplessly, a silent plea for a miracle that will not come. Grief washes over them, an unbearable weight as they accept the irreversible. With heavy hearts, they begin constructing a crystal coffin, its transparency a cruel reminder of their loss. Gently, they lay Snow White within, her beauty preserved in eternal slumber, a vision of what was and never will be again. Upon the stark mountainside, the dwarfs carefully place the crystal coffin. Snow White rests in eternal stillness within the crystal. Silent creatures of the forest gather, their watchful eyes filled with sorrow. A somber mood descends, blanketing the mountainside in quiet grief. The wind whispers a mournful song through the towering pines. The sun hides behind the clouds, casting a long shadow over the mountainside. Against the towering mountains, a prince journeys along a treacherous path. His eyes are suddenly ensnared by Snow White's eternal slumber within her glass coffin. The prince dismounts, captivated by her ethereal beauty. With heartfelt desperation, the prince implores the dwarfs, "I beg you, good sirs, allow me to take her. I cannot leave her here to fade away." Servants gingerly raise the glass coffin, its surface shimmering in the sunlight. Disaster strikes as a servant stumbles, sending the coffin lurching violently.